husband wants to open our marriage. I'm considering divorce.
Close it.
Forget it.
Background, I, 33 male, and my husband, 33 male, let's call him Ethan, have been married for over a year and have been together for over 3 years. By the way, this comes from Jock CDF, and if you want to spend your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Ethan was previously married for 8 years. During that time, he and his ex-husband had an open relationship, and I also just wanted to see how, so they've been married for over a year. So, like, let's say he's 32. Okay, like 24, 25, maybe?
All right, yep.
But eventually divorced amicably. While they were finalizing the divorce, Ethan and I matched on Tinder. We spent almost 3 months just talking online every day through text and FaceTime before we finally met in person. When we did meet, while Ethan was searching for an apartment so he could move out of the house he and his ex owned together. From that day on, we became inseparable and eventually made our relationship official. I must say this is the best relationship I've ever had. We do everything together. We're both physically active, but also enjoy being couch potatoes. I love that. Whether it's playing video games all night or watching TV. Last year, Ethan got me into RuPaul's Drag Race, and now we spend our Friday nights waiting for the latest episode. Go Jules Sparkles. That's like the ideal for me. Like a lot of activeness and then also just a lot of little lazing around.
Little chill time.
Yeah, Angie loves that show.
Yeah, I know. In the early stages of our relationship, we discussed what kind of relationship we wanted. I made it clear that I didn't want to be in an open relationship because it's just not for me. He agreed and said he wanted a monogamous relationship too, as that was one of the factors that led to the failure of his previous marriage. Was he the one who initiated it?
I was about to ask that.
We also discussed his preferences regarding his fantasies, which I believe is called stag, or can I even say that? By other spicy hobbies. Not sure which term applies. He shared that he fantasizes about me being intimate with another man, whether it be me using or being used by someone else. Okay. I admitted that it would be difficult for me to fulfill that fantasy, but I was willing to find a compromise. But that feels like, I mean, obviously... No, that's not what I was gonna say.
Okay.
It feels like that is not necessarily for everyone, but in this set of circumstances, that feels like a precursor to open relationship.
Yeah, like he's like, oh, what's the fantasy? It's things that happen in an open relationship.
It's an open relationship.
And then so now he's like, well, so like, but I don't like want the open relationship.
And he's
so
like, no, baby, it's my fantasy. Are you kink shaming? Checkmate.
What are we doing? Yeah, now we're just
checkmate, liberals.
Now we've just canceled each other out. What's going on?
So we introduced toys into our schmexy time and began incorporating talk about scenarios involving other people during that time. You didn't.
I said so.
Stop saying
Spicy doll.
This approach seems to work as he appears to be satisfied.
Aha.
Never been satisfied. Okay. Over a year later, we got married. It was a mid-sized wedding, around 80 guests at a nice venue. Around 45 guests on his side and 35 with mine. So 2 years into the relationship, it seems? Or maybe is it 1 year total? Wait, I can find it. I've been married for over a year. They've been married for over a year and have been together for over 3 years.
Okay.
Said at the beginning. Dig a spot, you failed.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been together for 3 years. So we went on a nice honeymoon to Hawaii, staying an entire week there. Earlier today, Ethan and I made plans for some schmexy time. While we were in bed and I was scrolling through TikTok, kind of our thing before spicy time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, okay, take 5.
Yeah, take 5. Scroll break.
Spicy time in 5 places. Thank you.
Wait, just one more.
Yeah, he's like, thank you, places. That was a theater joke. He asked me a question. You probably already know what it is from the title of the post. He asked if I'd be willing to open up the marriage for a threesome. He then went on a whole speech encouraging me to keep an open mind and think about it. Once he was done, I immediately said no and asked him what his reasons were for wanting it. He gave me 2 reasons.
Here we go.
Fun.
Hey.
Did you think about fun? I don't think you did.
Don't think so.
Excitement.
Oh, there's another one.
Another one.
I don't know. It seems like the same reason, but whatever.
Right?
I hope he's like, why do you want to open the relationship with this? And Ethan's like, I don't know. Fun? Number 1. I don't know. Number 2, excitement. Did you think about those
More
2?
fun?
Maybe
more fun?
Maybe some joy.
Number 1, fun. Number 2, funner.
Yeah. Do you want me to keep going?
Funnest. That's at least 3. I asked him if our spicy sleep life was boring and if that's why he wanted to do that. He said no, and that he just wants to spice things up a little. He also mentioned that he's been meaning to ask me this for a while, but got too scared to do so. He's been wanting a threesome for a while. I will say, he's kind of already asked you before. He said this was his fantasy.
This is true.
So, like, I don't know if I would be, like, completely shocked in this scenario if my partner said, hey, my fantasy is a threesome, and then they're like, hey, I want to have a threesome.
I guess in fairness, it is, I guess, a little bit because it did seem like he was pretty adamant at the beginning of the relationship, like, oh, this is why my last relationship failed. So it seems like maybe there were some cross signals, and maybe OP was leaning so much on like, okay, he's agreeing and like this is good, that kind of like missing the very heavy-handed.
Yeah, but I'm just like a little bit confused because it seems like we heard that Ethan said earlier, hey, my fantasy is this, and then OP was like, it's not my thing, but like I can try to be open to like thinking about it.
They came up with a alternative solution.
And then he's bringing it up again.
Yeah.
So I just don't know if this is gonna work out if he really wants that, and you're like, no.
Yeah, and I do think it is. I think Ethan always wanted this, but I think
I agree.
I think he lied in the beginning.
Yes.
And he like was like, oh, I'll work my way up to it over time.
I know, I think he's absolutely like tricking OP. I argued saying it's boring for you. You wouldn't want to spice things up if it weren't. I told him that we were becoming spicily incompatible and suggested that we might need to consider being legally separated. Which is kind of what I just said. Even though I love you and this is going to suck, it's better to end this now because it's something I cannot fulfill. It's against my morals. And even if I did it once, it would unalive my mental health to go against my principles just to please you.
Yeah, because this isn't just about like a aspect of their spicy sleep life. It is a kind of promise and standard that OP set in the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, you're going against this, like, you know, for me, a non-negotiable thing that I had to set. I want a monogamous relationship, totally fair. And it's like, if this is what you really want, then we're incompatible.
Exactly. And I think that's a super fair thing to say. It's like, I'm never going to do it and you want it. And Kimberly Fine says, is OP male or female? OP is male.
Mm-hmm.
He got quiet and eventually said that we should go to couples counseling. I told him that there's nothing wrong with him. A lot of gay and straight couples have open relationships, even polyamorous ones, but that's not for me or something I want to be a part of. I said it's better to end it now before it reaches a point where you might resent me for not fulfilling your fantasy. After that, we just lay there in bed, deep in our thoughts, and then he went to the store to grab something or cool off. What do you think we should do?
I just want to call out real quick. I loved OP's comment on like, hey, there's nothing like inherently wrong with you for wanting that. There are people like his that relationship ended, but it's like, hey, your previous husband, you both wanted that. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, it's just not what I want in a relationship. And
I think that's a great response.
I think that's a great response. What did he say right after that too? There was another piece that
that's not. I said it's better to end it now before it reaches a point where you might resent me for not fulfilling your fantasy.
Yes, and then that too. So it's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm not like attacking you or like what you want out of a relationship or life. And like, hey, I don't want to I don't want to stop you from being able to get what you want and building up feelings of resentment and stuff. Yeah, I like that answer. I like that answer a lot.
Agree.
Do you think that he might weaponize the therapist?
Well, I just think there's no point. Like, what are you going to therapy for?
Like, if he picked out the therapist, hey, we're going to go to this therapist I found that agrees with these kind of things, but OP doesn't know that.
Maybe, but it's just, like if the only thing that a therapist, like, it feels like what Ethan wants the therapist to do is to completely change either his mind or OP's mind.
Probably OP's.
Probably OP's. Yeah. In which case, like, you can't change someone's mind on something that's a moral value.
Yeah, and also,
you can't. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Basically, OP is like, hey, look, this is just not for me. You can have it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't hate you for it, but like, we just can't be in a relationship with these misaligning things.
Yeah, that's a fair thing. But there are some comments. Comment 1 says, honestly, it's up to you. I mean, if my wife suggested opening the marriage, we would be done and that's it. You handled it well. You still showed him love and support, and you drew your boundary. You sound well adjusted. He knows the consequences now. The ball is in his court. Comment 2 says, pretty sure his first marriage ended because he wanted to open it up and his ex didn't want to. And now he's trying his luck with you, hoping you'd be more easy to be manipulated into it than his ex was. Well, I think that if this has always been his fantasy, when he said, oh yeah, my previous marriage didn't work because of an open relationship, probably something that he suggested.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
If I were you and I knew the ex was not a crazy person, I'd try reaching out to ask exactly what happened to cause it to fail. His side of the story might help you make more sense of the story instead of only Ethan's side. Comment 3 says, I really wish people would stop requesting their partners to hook up with other people for their pleasure. If a MFer tells you they're monogamous, don't pretend you are too to lock them down, then randomly try to sneak some other people into the mix down the road. It's deceitful and manipulative as F. Sorry, OP, I just got pissed for you.
Dude, round of applause for Sophia's freestyle censoring right there. Dude, just jumping.
Dodged. There is an update though. Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, just quickly reiterating, yeah, I liked OP's response. I'm like, hey, look, nothing wrong with you. Go live your life, but it ain't gonna be with me. Yes. And
Bye.
I think the way OP, it's not like OP's like, I'm kind of like on the fence. I'm not sure. OP's like, I know very clearly what I want.
Yeah.
And so it's just going to cause more friction, tension, pain, and heartache to try to.
Spicy alignment is a very important part of a relationship.
Yes.
It's like you have to make sure that you guys are both on the same page about what you want. And if someone wants less, that's not a problem at all. And if someone wants more, that's not a problem either. It's just you have to make sure that you're on the same page.
What is this? Dude, I'm being weaponized with the Zooms today.
What are you talking about?
Realign, John.
What are you talking
Here
about?
I am. I got to realign, guys. Go to the car shop.
But there is an update.
Okay, let's do it.
Since my last post, I've been sleeping on the couch for the past 2 nights because I didn't want to be around him. Last night, when I got home from work, my husband and I spent nearly 3 hours discussing our relationship and the threesome he wanted us to engage in. I was very emotional throughout the conversation, and while I may have forgotten some details, I remember the important points clearly. He was very apologetic after seeing how his request/offer upset me, and he assured me that he didn't mean to make a big issue of it. I started asking him questions. I asked if there was a specific person he had in mind for us to engage with in the activity, and he said no. I also asked if he had slept with anyone else since we've been together, and he said no. I asked him if something had happened or changed that made him want to have a threesome. He said no. A lot of no's. But he did mention that he wanted to ask just in case my stance on them or non-monogamy had changed. I asked him to clarify what he meant by spicing things up, and he explained that we've been having vanilla spicy sleep, which is why he made the suggestion.
And he did clock it. He did say, ask him earlier, like, you want this because you think our spicy sleep life is boring. He's like, no, it's not
like,
that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be asking otherwise.
Dude, okay, that makes me trust you way less more, my guy.
I told him that there's nothing wrong with vanilla spicy sleep, but there are other ways to spice things up without involving non-monogamy, like the adult toys we use from time to time. I then reiterated that I'm seriously considering separation because of his requests. I also reminded him of our plan to buy a house later this year or early next year and eventually adopt a child to raise as our own. I explained that open marriages have a high failure rate and I don't want to adopt a child only for them to experience us separating because our marriage failed. While this isn't the case for all open marriages, I'm not willing to take that risk and I don't want that dynamic in our relationship, which is very smart. I mean, you want as stable of a home for your child. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He then apologized again and said that his fantasies were just that, fantasies, and that he could live without them being fulfilled and could just get off and be back to normal. He also told me that he still loves me so much and wants to spend the rest of our lives together. I expressed to him that my trust is shaken and it's going to take a lot of work for us to get back to where we were. He then suggested couples counseling again, and I agreed. I also brought up the idea of seeing spicy sleep therapist either for him individually or for both of us to help us better understand each other and possibly explore new fantasies that we can enjoy together without involving non-monogamy. He then promised not to bring up anything about non-monogamy. I want to thank everyone who responded to my post. I understand that some of you hoped for a different outcome, but I don't want to end the relationship solely because of spicy related fantasies. I truly hope I made the right choice and won't end up with a broken heart down the line. But you know what is the right choice, John?
Oh, what, Sophia?
listening to full episodes with stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Poke Storytime. But man, oh man, there's a little bit left to this story. And John,
yes,
do you believe Ethan?
I don't believe him for a second.
I don't believe him either.
Also, just the irony of how he's like, hey, look, I know things aren't going so great, so I think we need to bring a third person in, this counselor.
I think we need a therapist. It's not going to look like a therapist's office.
It's a very new style of therapy.
It's kind of like, you know how they have music therapy?
Oh, yeah.
It's nothing like that.
Yeah, dude, I literally he was just, we caught him in, he said in the beginning of the relationship, I'm cool with monogamy. Then he's like, I have this fantasy. He said, our spicy sleep life isn't boring. That's not it. Then he said, we have a vanilla spicy sleep life. Like he keeps, it's not just now the misalignment in, a big foundational piece of how they want to operate in a relationship. It's also now that we keep catching him in these lies. And I'm like, how do we trust him?
No, he's telling OP what he wants to hear.
Yes,
exactly. He's worm-tonguing it.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we already saw Ethan come to OP, say, I want to do this, and let's go to therapy. And OP said no. And now he's saying what OP wants to hear, and then also adding, let's go to therapy. And he knows he's trying to manipulate OP. Yeah. And so he's using what OP wants to hear. It feels like. Hopefully not.
We don't have the full context of the whole relationship, but I agree with you. From all we can see, it absolutely seems like he's just saying that to kind of get what he wants.
Yeah. But there's a little bit left to the story.
Oh.
Hopefully this will be the last update on this topic, but if there's more, I'll be sure to reach out again. I'd also love to hear everyone's take on this. Did I make the right choice by not ending this relationship outright? Edit: to clarify, when I said my trust is shaken, I was referring to our relationship. I'm questioning everything we planned together, including whether we should move forward with the house and have children. I don't want to deepen our commitments if this is something he strongly feels about and cannot compromise on or live without. In that case, those plans would definitely need to be reconsidered. Comments to finish the story off. Comment 1 says, it should be okay to open up to a partner as a fantasy, as long as they get to say no and have you respect that and not pressure them. People have fantasies, both mundane and wild, and not being able to fulfill them isn't the end of your marriage. I think you'll get through this. That's true. I mean, there are sometimes you bring up fantasies and they're not things that you necessarily are like, this needs to happen. I'm just,
yeah,
this.
It's like when you go to a restaurant and you're like, oh, hey, do you have my favorite salmon dish? And like, oh, no. It's like, oh, well, do you have a beer battered fish? And you're like, yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think that really quickly, I think that would have been fine if Ethan had come and said, hey, this is my fantasy. And then OP said, well, I don't ever want to do that.
This is not this case is not
no, that. It's like Ethan came, said, this is my fantasy. Opie said no. Ethan said, okay, that's totally fine. I don't even care. Then came back and said, actually, I do care. Let's do it. And Opie said no. And he said, oh, but it's boring. Like, our spicy sleep life is boring. And so it was just this back and forth of him lying.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, I forgot this was two dudes until now.
Yes.
And if this is the case, dude, I'd just punch him and be like, leave me alone. No, we're not doing it.
Don't know. That's terrible advice.
Just knock my
That's abuse.
Oh, Riley.
That's just domestic abuse.
Me and my brother hit each other all the time.
It's not your brother. This is your partner.
Well, you guys are still bros.
No, false.
Come on, if you're a couple, aren't you bros?
No. You're definition not bros.
I don't know, but bros are pretty tight and then they hit each other, but you're saying if I marry a dude, I can't hit him?
Yes.
That is what we're saying.
That's exactly
that
what
doesn't
I'm
make any
saying.
sense to me.
Okay, and that's why Riley's not gay.
But boom.
Reply, would you be able to look at your wife or husband the same again if they told you they had a fantasy associated with eating each other's extra? I don't even want to say that.
Oops.
Probably not, LOL. It is definitely okay to open up about fantasies, but it is also okay for the person to find the revelation that their partner is interested in that thing to be distressing. I think that goes into kink shaming.
Seems like that's where that's at, but
yeah.
No. But yeah, no. Sometimes people don't have the same preferences, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That can be totally
okay. And
fine.
Sometimes it doesn't mean the end of the relationship because that person's preferences are not make or break for them. And sometimes it does mean the end of the relationship because it is make or break for them.
Yes, and To us, this seems like one of those times, but
apparently to OP, it is not.
More power to them. Hopefully the counseling goes well and they
Yeah.
learn, and who knows?
I so agree. And your poison tonic has a great quote from Severance. Vow of feculence. Needs eat crap.
All right, we're getting this next story. We ready? We're going to close out. My wife belittles me in public, but is the total opposite in private.
That's called...
Step on me, mommy.
Well, maybe humiliate is too strong a word. Tell Riley that. More like condescends to me. So my wife, let's call her Victoria, is tall, beautiful, and well-educated. Her degree is in social science. She's a writer. Her writings are mostly critical treatises. I probably pronounced that wrong. But as of yet, she has not published anything. She is a volunteer buddhist. What does that mean?
What? Let me look that up.
Assistant.
Okay, can you text that to Nina? Can you text that to Nina, please? Thank you. She is a volunteer assistant at a yoga meditation group once or twice a month. By the way, this comes from Laban Home Oliver. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I have a master's degree in history and teach that subject at a community college. I also work at the same yoga studio at which Victoria volunteers, but as a full-time teacher, I teach hot yoga and yoga with weights. Don't sign Sophia up.
I will get heat stroke.
She will pass out. We met at community college I teach at 3 years ago. She was taking a writing workshop, and I happened to be friends with the instructor and met Victoria in class. 5 months later, we were engaged.
What?
Wow.
That's quick.
This is super quick. At that time, Victoria supported herself as a substitute teacher and a sales associate at a department store. Now that she's married to me, she doesn't work. We rely completely on my salary as a college teacher primarily, and as a secondary source, my salary as a yoga teacher. I consider my marriage to Victoria to be generally happy. However, she kind of is disrespectful to me. I think we're about to open a can of worms.
I think she's got a degradation kink.
Ooh.
Yep. Yes. Remember in the first few moments of Four Christmases, that movie, Four Christmases?
What's that?
Anyways, it's a couple role playing. It's very early, not spoiling anything. And this one's like, yeah, says really mean things, and the guy snaps back.
Shut up, witch!
And then she's like, and then they go home together.
Uh-oh. And then you're like, oh, that's their thing.
Yeah. So you might have to
Yeah.
just do that.
Yeah, maybe it's their thing.
Maybe. We're about to find out. In private, she's great. Our spicy sleep life is completely normal and frequent. She'll laugh, joke, and be conversational with me. We'll just be a normal, happy married couple. Outside our home, though. Outside, she seems to be a completely different person. When we're out with friends, she'll often make it a point to say, I'm not a real college professor if it comes up in conversation.
She's like, he's not a real doctor.
Dude. Come on. And his salary is what they're basing both of their livelihood off of, too.
Ooh, not cool, girl. Not
Dude,
cool.
come on. Because my job is at a community college and not a 4-year university. Or if I tell people I'm a yoga teacher, she'll make sure to say something like, he chose wearing tights over a PhD.
I hate that. Why?
What are we doing here? This is...
She's a bully.
That's
yeah.
so mean.
She is, though. Meanwhile, she knows perfectly well I can't afford to go back to school right now to finish my doctorates because I'm working to support both of us and she doesn't earn any money at all.
Girl.
Come on, man.
And you know Opie's a good guy because you know he could just throw this in her face. Well, maybe I'd go back to school to work at a real school if you would actually pay for something.
There's like playful ribbing that's okay
Yes,
between like
yes.
friends or partners or stuff where it's just like, oh, like, no, you did that or blah, blah, blah. This is just bullying. This is just mean. And it's obviously affecting you. So definitely like call her out on that.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, could you never say that word again?
Ribbing?
Please.
That's what it's called.
I don't like it. I don't.
Teasing?
Sure.
Playful banter.
Banta? It's called banta.
Anywho. So, Opie says, it's also kind of hurtful because I know if I said something like, you shouldn't call yourself a professional writer if no one ever wanted to buy your articles, and also pointed out that I myself have been published numerous times in a minor sense, she would probably get really hurt. Hence why I would never say that to her.
Yeah, if you're even thinking that, you need to have a conversation ASAP with her and say, hey, you're hurting my feelings.
Yes, this is...
Bring it up.
This is not good. Victoria also identifies as a feminist in public and says that she and other women are oppressed and being held down by men. I don't remember ever trying to hold her back from doing what she wants. In fact, I encouraged her to write articles and always buy her whatever materials and postage she asked in order to try and get herself published.
Well, she's probably not talking about you.
Yeah, you're conflating things that
she's
are...
like, oh, she's always says she's oppressed by men, but it's not all men. It's like, okay, she's not talking about you, my guy.
One of these things don't gotta be about the other, my boy. But she'll also ironically say a bunch of sexist stuff when we're out in public with other people, often saying I have no sense of direction since I'm a man, that all I do is think with my wiener, and that I'm messy, that I love to eat, and she'll pat my stomach as if I'm fat.
The thing is, like, I think she's just being mean to you, you know?
Yeah.
Like could have something to do with sexism, but I feel like it's just like she's being mean to you. That at the end of the day, that's what the problem here. And that's not
agree.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. My abs are ripped, by the way.
Yeah, she's bullying you. She wants to like make you insecure.
Yeah, which is, dude, so completely... Talk to me.
Theory, because she has no money, like she's not bringing any of the money in, like she doesn't have a job or anything, she feels less like bad about herself, and so she's trying to bring OP down. It's like classic mean girl, like, oh, I'm insecure, so I'm gonna make other people insecure.
Right. I think you're right, but it's just, God, it's sad.
It is sad. It's not okay.
But if I said something even remotely sexist, like she loves shoes or some crap like that, she wouldn't like it.
Does she like does she like shoes?
One of these things is not like the other.
OP keeps using the word sexist, and I don't think it means what he thinks it means. She's bullying you, and I think she just likes shoes. If you're saying she likes shoes, maybe she just likes shoes.
I told her she likes shoes.
Or maybe I thought it was, he said, oh, you like shoes, and she was like, stop being sexist.
Like if I said,
you like washing the dishes.
Riley likes, okay, well, I don't like washing the dishes. Hold on a minute.
You like do it all the time.
Hold on a minute. For example, not sexist. Me saying, oh, Riley likes cutting wood, chopping wood. Like that's just true. Sexist, Riley calling me a dishwasher.
There we go.
Wait. I thought you were going to call me something sexist.
No. I was showing two examples.
No. You got to... that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, fine. Something sexist. Riley should pay for everyone's meals.
All right. There you go. Take it. There.
Gotta love it. Examples have been examped. It seems like I'm more considerate of her feelings than she is of mine. Once we're back at our own home, she's nice to me, telling me how much she loves to cook for me and how great I am and how she's my woman and how she loves it when I get a little rough with her. And so I oblige in an affectionate sense. When I try to talk to her about the hurtful things she says, she'll act like she has no idea what I'm talking about or accuse me of just being sensitive and quickly change the subject, or else she'll just start coming on to me. We'll have spicy sleep, and of course, I will be distracted. I don't know.
Wait, when OP's trying to have a conversation with her?
Yeah, so basically, when he brings it up, sometimes she'll divert some way. One of the ways is if he's bringing it up, she just starts coming on to him. And
my God, you gotta like hold on, you know?
Yeah, just Lord,
like stay strong.
Stay strong,
be like,
brother.
Whoa, stop. Let's have a conversation.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something.
Okay, that's what you gotta do. I don't know. We completely depend on my job to put food on the table and a roof over our heads. I don't think that these are things to joke about or belittle. It kind of hurts my self-esteem. Yeah, like I'm not doing enough with my life. What can I do to help Victoria realize how mean she's behaving, how her attitude just isn't right when it comes to the things she's saying? And we have an update. Well, let's answer OP's question. Sophia, how can OP tell his wife, hey, these things hurt me?
Well, first off, you have the conversation. And when she tries to sidetrack you, you go, stop. Sit over there, but try and do it in a not sexy way. And so she sits over there, and then you say, hey.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
It's like, wait, geez.
And you say, hey, the comments that you've been making about my job and about me have really hurt my feelings, and I don't appreciate them.
Bingo.
Bingo, bango.
Dingaspot, who is the bully or person being mean?
The first answer was the characters in the story are named Victoria and OP. Second one, in this story, the character Victoria is portrayed as the bully or the person being disrespectful and mean towards her husband. And that's OP.
Dingus is dingusing.
We're getting there, boys and girls. But we're also getting into this next update. So, first of all, I can't thank all of you enough for your encouraging, helpful advice. I also got so many private messages that were extremely helpful in showing me that I really do need to stand up for myself. The original post is below this update. I decided this morning, it's a new day, Independence Day. So why not start now? Is OP about to become a lot more independent?
Ooh.
Wink, wink, hint, hint. I see you. So, in answer of some of the questions I got asked at least a dozen times, yes, she is hot.
Yes, she's hot. It's not relevant, okay?
Redonkulously hot. She's 5'11", with a body like Giselle Bundchen, but with a nicer face. Riley, can you look that up?
And also, that seems kind of insulting to Giselle.
Oh, true. Yeah, OP keeps throwing strays.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
she
like,
does have a nice face. That's the shocking thing.
what? Let's see it.
Well, I would say but an even nicer face, like that, but a nice
Well, like
face.
she's even more
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
I
Like
guess
he
you
was
could
like, but a
put it.
nice, but like if she had a nice face,
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
If she wasn't
that's
real
clearly
ugly.
a beautiful woman.
Yeah. And Opie says, I myself am 6'3". Humble brag, but okay.
I myself am 6'3".
And yes, part of why I put up with her behavior so long is because, yes, smashing that is a privilege. And yes, at the time I was thinking with my wiener.
So when your wife says, "Oh, he's always thinking with his wiener," it's true.
Well, that's because I was thinking with my wiener, says OP. But anyways, we had a brunch, just her and myself, and I figured that because we were in a crowded, popular restaurant, yet at a table for two, she wouldn't cause a scene or yell at me. So I followed a lot of people's advice and just held her hand and reminded her that I love her and I'm totally in love with her, respect her, and will always be on her side. But I reminded her that she had said things in the past, and more often than one or two isolated incidents, where I felt totally disrespected. I reminded her that I work hard at 2 jobs to keep both of us in comfort in a nice home, and that I support her in all she wants to do in life. I reminded her that I have tried numerous times in the past to discuss her disrespect with me, but she always blew me off, and I reminded her, boy, OP loves reminding her that I've always supported her and spoken highly of her.
Yeah, she always blew you off.
Oh, God. Sophia got him, ladies and gentlemen. Got him. And spoke highly of her
I don't
because
always like what I have to do.
you see what I've become because of these boys.
My name is Miguel O'Hara. I don't always like what I have to do.
And always spoke highly of her because she is my wife, first of all. I love her. And second, because I believe every word when I say I love her and respect her. Very nice. I reminded her how smart she is, and she can't possibly fail to see that what she's doing is hurtful to me.
Okay, what's the problem?
Well,
That was a whole lot of preamble.
we got a whole lot of
We got a butt coming
set
up.
up. She really surprised me.
Okay.
Can't even lie. She really surprised me. She actually started to cry.
Embarrassing.
Out of anger. No, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
Dude, what? Sophia slipped some more silly juice while we weren't looking.
Sorry.
We were at a corner table and no one could see her, so she wasn't scared of looking bad in front of strangers or embarrassing herself. The waiter came up to the table a couple of times to offer things, but I signaled him to come later. Dude, sometimes the waiters be coming at the worst times.
They
man.
really do.
God.
She's like crying, and the waiter's like, "Can I offer you some wine?"
So are you guys ready to order yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard about our new specials? No,
Okay.
I don't want to. She confessed she knew that she was being a witch, that she couldn't help it, that she knew she was wrong, and that she felt horrible, but she felt pressure to succeed. That she felt that she's getting old and feels horrible because supposedly I'm in my prime while she's past hers. Ridiculous, by the way. She told me she felt guilty that I'm younger than her, but taking care of her, and that she's older and she could be the one caring for me, and that since she's supposedly going downhill, I won't find her attractive anymore and will cheat on her.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's insecure and she's lashing out and taking it out on you so that you feel more insecure.
Yes.
It's classic insecure relationship tactics. You make your partner feel bad about themselves so that they, by comparison, like think you're better and like you don't even deserve them. So like, why would I leave them?
And you know what, Sophia? The levels of I don't like that are high.
Bad.
Bad.
Talk about your insecurities. Don't take them out on your partner.
Let's talk about it. All of these things she said made her feel really insecure, and that she just lashed out, was angry at me for imaginary things I might do in some pretend future where I stopped loving her. Oh man. She said that she felt, her words, hopelessly outclassed by my accomplishments and that it hurt her self-esteem to be so reliant on me. This is the one time I agreed with her early teasing and said being a community college teacher isn't that amazing and that she's only 33 and has lots of life left and her story isn't yet a third written. Story's still unwritten.
Yeah.
She confessed that her younger brother, he's also my age, maybe a couple of years older, also outperformed her in school, and it made her feel bad. Her
Comparison is the thief of joy.
thief. Swipe or no swiping. My joy, that is. Her parents teased her about it, and in some ways, I reminded her insecurity about being outdone by a younger sibling. Side note, I hope she doesn't see me as a sibling now. Get these washing machines out of here.
Yeah, no, you guys are bros.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, right. Nice dig. She explained that when we're alone together, she can be herself, and that's when she loves life best. But when we're with other people, especially her female friends, she feels a huge pressure to show how strong and how independent she is. She promised me that she would never do it again, and that if she did, that I should immediately tell her to knock it off.
Great conversation.
We are making some progress here. Got to give it to her. She kind of admitted everything. and it
Absolutely,
makes
really
sense
great.
and-
I mean,
yeah.
we're all human. We've all
true.
got biases and
It's true, man.
and insecurities, and sometimes we take them out on other people, and it's just like it's nice to be with people that keep you in check.
Yeah.
And say, hey, stop it. And then you go, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, saying the quiet part out loud can do some magic sometimes.
Yeah, like sometimes people really just don't even notice that they're doing something.
It's very true. It's very true. Sophia's killing it with the advice today.
Oh,
I can't even lie.
shucks.
I can't even lie. Now, she also begged me, absolutely begged me, with hand wringing and everything, not to leave her. And that she would be better and asked me for another chance, promising not to mess up again. And now for the best part. She explained that she poked fun at my non-existent stomach fat because she was insecure about the fact that she herself had put on a few pounds the last month or so. She was utterly distraught that I would think she was ugly and A, would not want to sleep with her anymore, and B, cheat on her. Aw. That's so sad.
And that's her own issues that
Indeed.
she needs to deal with,
This is
not your problem, OP.
This is true.
Dingus bot, who is cheating?
Trying to trip it up. Let's see.
Trick question.
In the story, there was no mention of anyone cheating.
Boom.
All right.
Can't trick
trick
Dingus bot.
question. I see what you did there. By the way, you can't trick me. There's no way. Sophia, me, Riley, we're untrickable.
Untrickable.
And guess what? Because if you haven't gone to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart, searched OK Storytime and listened to all 2,000 episodes that you can binge, nonstop content to fill your workday while you're doing the dishes, whatever, for your listening pleasure. If you want to lie and say you've listened to every episode and I don't believe you, well, you haven't done what I just told you to do.
It's true.
Go look up the podcast and start listening to it, guys.
Go. Don't make him do it. He will.
point.
This is a hostage situation.
This is a hostage
Give us your
situation.
ears or else.
I will draw a smiley face on your smiley face. So you watch out, okay? Now let's get into the last part of the story. So it turns out she's pregnant.
What? Oh, hormones too also maybe.
Oh.
But also I think this was kind of going on the whole time. so
Probably.
maybe-
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really sexist, Sophia.
No, it's just bodily.
I don't know, that's
you can't
pretty
shot me.
sexist.
You can't shot me. That's just how hormones work, man.
Woo.
So whenever I'm saying you're getting too hormonal, it's a problem.
When have you ever said that?
Being too hormonal. Is it a problem now?
We're about to have a problem.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're bros, right, Riley?
Uh-oh.
We're bros,
You know,
right?
You know what comes with that.
Oh,
Okay, I'm
she
done.
wants to swing.
There we go.
I'm good, guys. Everything's
One free
fine.
shot. One free shot.
Wait, what? Who?
Oh, you know. Get
I don't
ready.
live in this
Count
sexist
days.
world. Give me a chance.
Count your days.
Woo. So it turns out she's pregnant and I'm going to be a dad. She says she's been irritable and judgy and a total witch lately because of hormones. And on top of all of that, she feared that I'd lose interest in her if I couldn't have spicy sleep with her for several months while he's pregnant. Heck, I don't mind. I'll gladly wait. She says she'll happily give me oral in the meantime.
Okay.
Well, there's some details for you, which is pretty awesome. So happy ending and happy 4th of July.
America!
And God bless America.
Also, low key, with how this guy talks, besides him being a yoga teacher,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, someone's gonna hate me after I say this, but she's a feminist, and she's like, I am independent, which is great, awesome, but it's bothering her because she is with someone that she is relying on, she is dependent, and this guy seems to be a very like America kind of guy.
What? Because he said happy 4th.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
And he was like, I'm so totally happy to be hitting that.
Well, I think it's just because he's happy.
Dang it. Okay, you know
You're
what?
like-
It didn't work. Editors, take it out.
Keep it in. Keep it in. Yes? Anything else you want to share with the class?
No, I just thought you had something else to share.
I did not. Oh, I did have I had a question for Riley. I love that. Sophia's gonna ask me, do you have anything else? She just goes,
But that's the end of that story.
Yes, that's the end of this story, and we are going to do something crazy. When I finish counting down from 3, we're going to completely change clothes and maybe people, and it's going to be crazy. Are you ready, everyone?
1, 2, 3.
And we're back.
In different clothes.
Well, you don't look at that.
Just as we promised.
Yes. So let's get into it.
My husband wants me to be a stay-at-home mom. There's no way I'd agree.
You're about to be a stay-at-home ex. Gotcha.
Ooh. You could say also, you should stay away from me.
Ooh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, okay. For anonymity, I can't go into details, but my husband, 34 male, has developed something in IT that's well known. And it made him rich.
Niche.
Okay. Niche industry.
I, 38 female, am a chef, and I make probably 1/100th of what he does. It doesn't matter for me, however, because I love my job.
Wait, what?
He makes
He's
100
rich,
times more
rich.
than she does.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, she's a chef and he's rich. Doesn't matter for me, however, because I love my job. We have a great life together. We had our first child, a baby girl, 3 years ago, and our twin boys are 9 months old. By the way, this comes from Throwaway. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I have a few months left on my maternity leave, and with the country closing up again because of the new Omicron, isn't it Omicron? Anyway, I started getting worried that my workplace won't take me back. I voiced my worries to my husband a couple of days ago, and he just shrugged. Said, it's not like we needed the money.
You're completely missing the point. It's gone.
Points. I was confused and told him that I knew that. It wasn't about the money. He just shrugged. I was a bit annoyed, to be honest, because I thought he didn't think it a big deal that I might be out of work. Yesterday, I was still thinking about it, so I decided to talk to him again. He was confused and told me that I should instead be happy that I could spend more time with my babies. And he asked me why I insisted on working when we have 3 small children and he made enough money for both of us. Because she wants to have a fulfilling career?
Because she wants to live her life how she wants to?
This is silly.
Very silly.
He didn't like me working 4 to 5 evenings a week, including 1 to 2 weekends a month. I told him that I love my job and that I'm good at it. I've been doing it for almost 20 years now, and the thought of not doing anything for the rest of my life is suffocating. He was visibly upset by then, and he accused...
What is it?
Sorry, I was making myself laugh. Sorry, okay. Whew.
Do you want to share with the class? Or
No,
just, okay.
You'll find out.
Okay. Ooh.
All right. He was visibly upset by then, and he accused me of loving my job more than my babies and him. He said I could always cook at home for the family, and if I was worried I would lose my independence, he could transfer the same amount I earned from my job to my private account monthly. This man is just...
Dude.
Ay.
Don't get it at all. Not at all.
Oh, you don't get anything.
Oh, wow. You want to cook for other people, not us?
Yeah, he's like, why are you being a chef for others and you can't even cook nonstop for us?
Oh, I didn't know you
Ridiculous.
liked hoarding food away from your family. I didn't know that's like what you were like freaking into.
What, am I not enough to cook for? Am I not enough to cook for, huh?
I started crying and he kissed and hugged me and told me that he loved me, but he had been thinking about this since our girl was born. He didn't like me coming home late at night, so I needed to choose between my job or being a family. I was startled. Did he mean it as an ultimatum? He did. He actually wants me to be a housewife or we go our separate ways.
No.
Yikes.
No.
And he makes 1/100th more than you.
Dude.
Or 900
100 times.
100 times more than you.
That's just so messed up.
Oh.
I mean, like, I'm sorry. Being a stay-at-home parent is something that you should agree upon as partners, not just something that you force on someone.
Yes. Could Sophia, in an
Yes.
alternate universe, he would have been like, hey, like, would you staying home with the kids be something you would enjoy? Is that something that like fulfills you or whatever? That's kind of like what I would, hope in a partner. But of course, you have to live your life. Is that something you're interested in? Is this an acceptable way?
That
of
is an
being
acceptable
able to address
way.
it?
That is an acceptable way.
But is this an acceptable way?
That isn't an acceptable way.
Not at all.
I went to my mom's place first thing this morning. She listened to me talking and crying, but when I finished, she wasn't indignant on my behalf, like I expected. She was silent for a while, and then she asked me to think carefully about my next move. If we got divorced, I'd need to think about my babies. I would never be able to give them the life their dad is giving them, and I might lose them because of it. Is it worth it to change their lives so drastically and have them live in 2 separate houses? All that for a job. I have worked my whole adult life and I just could see this as an early retirement. Many people dreamed of this. Why couldn't I enjoy it? I wasn't expecting my mom to say these things. She's always been this strong, independent woman who raised us to be independent and taught me to never rely 100% on anyone other than myself. Hearing her say all of that made me question my feelings. Before I met her, I was totally sure. Before you met your mom?
Wait, is someone else?
Met up with her, maybe?
Wait.
Yeah, maybe I've met up.
I think you're right. Good catch.
Before I met my mother.
Before I met my mom.
How I met my own mom.
I mean, at one point you do meet your mom.
Yeah.
Consciously.
True, yeah.
You're like, whoa.
I was like 5 when I met my mom.
Lady? It's my mom. Before I met up with her, I was totally sure I was right, being hurt and angry. But now I think maybe I'm overreacting and that my husband's request wasn't that unreasonable. But if that's the case, why do I feel like my heart is swollen in my throat? Why does it feel like he made this ultimatum because he knew he had power and he's using it? Throw any suggestion or advice my way, and please be honest, because I feel I'm wronged here and I'm having a hard time thinking from my husband's perspective. And there is an update, but Riley's got a question.
Yes, more like advice. This is what we're going to do. We're going to sit hubby down. Hey, I'll be the stay-at-home wife, but this is what I want. My own cooking show and a babysitter. I'm not going to stop cooking because you want me to, and I think I would use this for something else. Boom. Use that against some scale up and then be, 100x him. Have your own, dog food company or whatever, like that one person did, and that could be you.
No, it's incredibly frustrating because some people genuinely don't want to have a job. They're like, job is just boring. I don't like it. I hate my job. It's just some way to get money. And some people, it's a vocation. It's something that they find a lot of, they have a lot of passion for, and it gives them, a kind of meaning in their life. And either is okay as long as you get to make that choice. And the reason that you're upset is because he's taking away that choice from you.
He is controlling. At the end of the day, she does not have to explain why that's what you... Of course, communicating, how you feel is good, but I say that meaning she is 1000% fully entitled to live her life the way she wants. She's not neglecting the children. She's not doing anything bad to the relationship. This is the husband completely controlling her, and she does not deserve that.
I agree. And it's weird that your mom is not being supportive of you.
Yeah, dude, L mom.
L
Freaking mom, bro.
Yeah. But there is an update.
Ho!
Boy. I don't work 4 to 5 days plus weekends. I work 35 to 45 hours a week in total, and sometimes it's during the weekend. That is already such a small amount of hours, so it's clearly not the case at all that OP is neglecting her kids.
Yeah, and again, even if it is more, it's listen, you got $1 bajillion.
Yeah.
This is... Don't you want to see your wife happy and explore what she enjoys in her life?
Exactly. But the fact that even if it was more, totally fine. The fact that it's this amount and he's still complaining and saying, oh, I want an ultimatum, that you can't do this anymore. Staying at home as a mom isn't normal in my country. Daycare is free and we don't have a nanny. I'm saying this because I want you to understand why I was taken aback by this whole situation. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to stay-at-home moms. He can't get sole custody just because of his wealth or because of my work hours. It doesn't work like this here. Thank goodness. But I'm thankful for those who expressed worry about that because I know that is a sad reality in other parts of the world. So to the update, I have had long talks with my husband about all that happened, trying to understand his point of view. I have told him that I can't see myself as a housewife ever, but that I am willing to start looking for jobs with better hours or that I can finally start my own restaurant. I mean, yeah, if I was this husband, I'd be like, oh, my wife wants to be a chef. I'm going to buy you a restaurant.
Yes.
Use all that money that you got. Let her be a cook full time, man.
Because you know what, Sophia, you're not buying a restaurant. You're buying your partners some happiness.
I thought you were going to say you're buying your partner's love.
Incorrect.
I could start searching for a location in office buildings and set up a lunch spot so then I don't need to work evenings and weekends. He didn't seem happy at all with that suggestion. He asked me why I'm so insistent on going back to work. He said these last months have been the happiest of his life, coming home from work every day to his family, and that he thought I was happy too. Dude, you literally like...
Oh, this is what you did. This is
yeah. This dude.
This is
Sophia
Sophia's
was
angle.
drinking so much silly juice the other day. She got so silly and kooky. It was crazy.
I was just waiting. I thought I put it on you though, so I got really confused. I love being with my babies all day, but just because I'm enjoying my maternity leave doesn't mean I don't want to go back to work. In fact, I'm enjoying every minute now because I know it's not permanent. We had a row. He said he's always felt that I'm scared of him making much more money and that I'm scared of being dependent on him. So if I'm insisting on working because I don't want to be a dependent, he could pay me 10 times what I earn to stay home. So out of touch.
Not getting it. He is not getting it.
I started crying and told him I'm not going to be a housewife and I don't accept ultimatums. So he should do what he feels is fit. Yes. He said he's tired of going around feeling that his wife is intimidated by his success. And why are you intimidated by your wife having a career?
Yes.
He's doing this for both of us. I have to admit that I'm sometimes scared of him having more power than me. I mean, but that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, he's
asserting his power.
Yeah, 100%.
He said it's all in my head, but really, would he ever dare to ask me to quit my job if he didn't feel he had the power to do it? Could I ask him to quit his job with the same ease? There's no denying the power dynamics in our relationship, and I have every right to be scared of it. So there was no progress really, and no matter how much I explain myself, he doesn't seem to understand me. And probably he feels the same way about me. It feels like we're on different levels. I have suggested counseling. Good. Definitely need it. He said, I'll think about it. Now we're just civil to each other, but we don't talk much, and we haven't been intimate since I first brought up going back to work. I love him and miss him. I don't want it to end, but the ball is in his court now. My mom is very angry with me. We haven't spoken for a week. I don't know what to do with her either. I wonder if she was involved in that conversation, you know, like if maybe the husband had talked to her.
They're like plotting together, kind of. Totally could be.
Yeah, because it seems like OP thinks for her mom, it's really out of character. So I don't know. I don't.
What if he's offering to pay her off?
He's like, hey, I'll pay you to stay home if you get your daughter to stay home.
How would you like to retire for 5 human lives? Mother-in-law.
That's a long time.
5 human lives.
You're retired every reincarnation.
Exactly.
Pretty nice. Trust fund, baby.
Yep.
Day 2. Thank you everyone for the support. I won't be able to make any more updates because you're only allowed 1. This, however, is not a big update, so I thought I could just add it here. My husband and I talked yesterday for the first time in 2 weeks, and he was the one who initiated the conversation. Y'all haven't talked in 2 weeks? Y'all have kids and you haven't talked in 2 weeks? How?
It's just like communicate, like, you know, just like, okay, baby needs food.
Yeah.
That's it.
I bet you she's taking care of the kid.
Probably,
she's the
yeah.
only one.
He's probably not even doing anything.
And he's running around just typing on a computer like, oh, I'm IT. Oh, I made 100 times what you make.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
He seems like he is thinks very highly of himself.
Ooh, yes.
I told him that while I'm enjoying my maternity leave, the thought of it being the rest of my life suffocates me. I suffer from severe claustrophobia. I don't know if it has anything to do with this. I asked him why he's doing this. He knew my job was important to me, so why was he making this impossible request when he knew it would mean the end of us? If you're having second thoughts about our marriage and want an out, please just tell me the truth. He became very upset and accused me of trying to gaslight him. He said his reasons are legit, and there's nothing wrong with wanting his wife to be there for her family. He also said the children won't stop needing me just because they go to school. I started crying. Sorry, I'm a crybaby. And I told him if this is over, he should know it's all on him. He started yelling, no, it's because you're too stubborn and too self-involved to actually take a second and think about my wishes. I wanted to leave because I couldn't be with him anymore, but he said that it would be more convenient if he did. He's moved to our city apartment. Y'all have a city apartment?
He has a city apartment? How often is he staying there?
And who else is staying there?
Yeah, Riley highlighted this comment earlier from Yagura cheating.
Yeah, I think that's a high likelihood.
There's
He's like,
another one.
BS. He's like, why won't you consider my wants and needs of like having you like around so I can go to my city apartment and cheat on you? It's all I want.
I just want you to watch the kids all the time so that I can check out of this family.
Why won't you let me do it?
I feel so lost and hurt. I love him so much, but I don't think continuing this relationship is healthy for either of us. My heart is breaking for my children. I don't know what to do. For now, I will just sit tight and wait for him to send me the divorce papers. Thank you again for the help and advice. It helped a lot. P.S. My mom was here yesterday. We talked a lot, and she's finally getting on my side. Good. I knew that when it came to it, she would be on my side, and I'm grateful. And there is a third update, despite what OP said about only being able to post once.
It was lies, but good lies, because
Good
we
lies.
get to see what happens.
That's true. Any thoughts before we get into this final update?
I would counter divorce. I don't know. I don't know what the legal proceeding is.
I raise you one divorce.
I did recently hear a story where two people were divorced and trying to serve each other, because it's like, so if she
Does it first,
or serves him, or like I don't know exactly how it works, but like I would look into seeing if that
would help.
Would help, because then, I mean, bro is loaded. Like, in my opinion, you helped raise his children. He has plenty of money. Get that money for your dream lunch restaurant.
Well,
and,
yeah,
you know.
Caitlin Von Kampen has what, like, I was thinking, saying, I sure hope they don't have a prenup. I'm wondering when he became uber wealthy, you know, because if he made this thing post-marriage, then they might not have a prenup.
Yeah.
But if he did it pre-marriage, may have a prenup.
Yeah, which also too is like he's initiating the divorce. So if they don't, I would guess maybe they do have a prenup because he's like, oh, I'm good. The prenup is airtight.
So he doesn't even care.
Oh boy. Well, let's see what actually is the truth.
Update 3. We're separating. Thank you, everyone, for the support. My husband and I are separating. This is what he wants. As I suspected, this was more than just me going back to work. He's been feeling resentment towards a lot of things about me. Many of them I can't change, and the rest I don't want to change. It's not his or my fault. We're just not compatible with each other anymore. By the way, you're compatible with us if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search Poke Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts, John?
I mean, very glad that OP will now be free to live her life as she wants, as she deserves, as any person deserves. I just hope that she gets a little bit of this 100x salary money.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
my only
at the
hope.
very least, she should get some good child support.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like knowing that if someone is asking you to do, like, being a stay-at-home mom is very worthy vocation. But if someone is forcing you to do that and you don't want to, take a look at that relationship and see whether or not you're being controlled.
Indeed.
Or attempted to be controlled. But there's a little bit left. I still have 14 months with my babies. Afterwards, all children are big enough for shared custody. I'm staying in the big house for now, but after the divorce, I'm going to move back to the city. I have been talking to my boss about my job. She will help me find a schedule around having the kids, so maybe I will work lunch hours the weeks I have them. My ambition is to still open my business, but maybe a bit further in the future. I still love him. I thought we were inseparable, but when he started resenting the very same things he loved about me, I knew this was hopeless. It sucks big time and hurts like heck, but here we are. And that's the end of that house.
That's it.
What?
Huh?
I said that's the end of that house.
You did.
Why did I say that?
I guess it's like that household is, I honestly, I was like, okay, slightly odd verbiage, but it's still like their house is, now separated or whatever, like split home or whatever.
That's the end of
That's
that line. I meant to say that's the end of that story.
Oh, and the end of this episode, there's no more snapping and new future versions of Sophia, Riley, and John popping up out of nowhere. It's just actually over.
Done.
Dunzo.
No, I won't do it.
Need an update? Let me see if there is an update.
Oh.
No, I was going to say OP's husband has this I think he's falling into the trap of sometimes men can put women on this kind of, not pedestal, but they can be obsessed with this one facet of a woman, like very independent, or she's like for example, like she's at the club and they're like, oh my God, like it's so cool, she's at the club. And then when they get in a relationship with her, they're like, why is she at the club dancing?
Yeah.
Like, that's inappropriate.
I don't
It's
like
that's where you
that.
met her.
It's like, isn't it the thing you
Yeah, isn't the
wanted
thing you
from me
liked
in the
her?
first place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
User has deleted their account.
Well, then that's that, folks.
There we go. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
and
see you tomorrow.
tomorrow.